Hello world, we're here with the Apex Legends Legacy gameplay trailer. I am here slightly early because I'm anticipating another cheeky little lore dump in the 2-minute intro section. We've got a fleet of ships approaching Olympus. I have a feeling that Bangalore's connection back to Gridiron has been focused on more recently because Ash also has connections to Gridiron that we learned about in Pathfinder's Quest. This could be her bringing in an entire fleet of the IMC. This could actually be returning the IMC from Gridiron and the Frontier back into the political landscape of the Outlands. Maybe she's brought them to attack Olympus. This is where the infection comes from, like a bioweapon. I think we're in for quite a lore-heavy gameplay trailer here. That, again, perpetuates the idea of Legacy, bringing the main antagonists from Titanfall 2 back into the fold. But I'll have to wait and see, literally like a few seconds. Hope you enjoy the trailer, friends. This is Legacy.
Receiving incoming transmission from Icarus.
Oh!
Dock of origin, Olympus.
Dock of origin, Olympus.
Fleet callback confirmed.
Fleet call. Ooh!
Alert. Protocol over.
So it was originally from Olympus.
Deleting identification log. Terraformation system authorized. Initializing geoscan. Geoscan complete.
Is this weird infection?
Zone 13 removal complete.
Zobatine?
Error. Terraformation gap detected. Initializing geoscan.
Geoscan.
Geoscan complete. Initializing bonsai hillside segment removal.
Segment removal?
Bonsai hillside segment removal complete.
They've taken out bonsai! Oh no, it is there in the top left.
Cliff overlooking
Moved.
docks assembly.
Cliff overlooking docks, okay.
Cliff overlooking docks lockdown confirmed.
Wow.
Error. Terraformation gap detected. Initializing geoscan.
So this is...
Geoscan complete.
Olympus has its own
Initializing sector shift in solar array.
bio-terraformation tech? Like, we knew it could restructure itself, but...
Sector shift complete.
Okay, a bunch of Olympus has moved.
Complete.
I think they called this stuff Zobatine.
Authorizing landing.
And then we got the fleet that was
Landing authorized.
from Olympus.
Greetings, crew of the Icarus and its fleet.
The Icarus. Why do I recognize that name?
Welcome to Olympus.
Welcome to... Oh, God. So who is this fleet from the Icarus? Obviously, I recognize the name from the legend, but... Ooh! Was that an arena or is this World's Edge? 3 versus 3. It is just like one team versus one team. Custom tailored maps. So some of King's Canyon, maybe Olympus, maybe Psamathe.
That's what's important.
The Apex Games are where the champions are crowned, but the arenas are where legends are made.
I said danger close. Weren't you listening?
The arenas are my games. They're not about fame or spectacle.
Is that World's
They're about
Edge?
the fight.
Arkstar!
The rules are simple. It's just your squad and their squad.
Adios, champ.
Whoever survives.
Awesome. Prem?
Now pay attention. This is how the game is played.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Assemble your squad in the customary fashion. Before the fight begins, squads are enclosed in their spawn room and have access to the shop. Here you can
Ah.
purchase weapons, items, and abilities with crafting materials.
Oh, an
I will grant you a
abilities.
set amount of materials at the start of each round.
Oh, wow. So it's almost
You may
like
earn more through your performance.
CSGO in a way, or
Materials can be
Valorant,
used
or...
immediately or saved for superior equipment later in the match. No purchased gear follows between rounds.
Oh.
Where's all my stuff?
You choose per round.
Materials can be used to upgrade weapons, making you an even greater threat.
Right, okay. Yeah.
At the end of the buy phase, the shields drop, and the fun begins. Both teams engage in combat until one side is wiped out. downed teammates can still be revived.
Okay, lifeline change makes even more sense
But
now.
in this game,
No
there are
respawns.
no respawns.
Nice.
The pressure. It's the only way to survive.
So yeah, like round for round.
Supply bins containing consumables and material canisters are scattered throughout the arena.
Okay. So only consumables?
A single airdrop containing 3 weapons arrives in the middle of each round.
Ah.
The tier of the weapons in the drop pod increases from round to round.
Yeah, there's
Use
gonna
them to overpower
Tons
your
of care
competition.
package stuff by the end.
It's high risk, high reward.
Maybe next time.
Like Ash's Arena teaser had a
different
bunch of
path.
red
The
boxes
first
everywhere.
team to score 3 victories with a 2-win margin will be declared the champion.
They've done victory
Teams battle
poses!
To a deadlock 4-4 tie. Round 9 is my favorite part.
Ooh.
Sudden death.
Tossing up some amped cover.
That's yeah. If you go down, you're down immediately. I
Knocked
reckon.
down more
Yeah.
than a few.
Cool. Right.
Each arena has its own personality and acts as an optimal combat testing ground.
Right. So that's just a bit of King's Canyon, like artillery. That's what is
This
it?
runner on Olympus wasn't the first of its kind.
It wasn't.
Prototype long abandoned rests in a remote section of Talos. Luckily, it
Somewhere on
remains
Talos?
intact and functional.
Cool, makes
providing
sense for
unique
the-
combat opportunities to those clever enough to seize them.
Yeah, makes sense with all the
There's a researcher
Branthium
foot.
under. Oh no, but
And
that
then,
was
of course,
after.
That's a meme.
Coma was
Cool.
simply another Outlands hotspot turned yesterday's news until an ill-fated joyride gave it a new landmark.
It is another flying city.
Assistance. The
Or at
city
least
has
it's gotta
been
be on Psamathe.
reignited with a new monument to incompetence.
Thank you for this. I feel much better about myself now.
I have also secured some viable locations throughout the Outlands to serve as arenas.
Right, and then just bits of the existing
And
maps.
don't get too comfortable. The future promises to be a bit fiery.
Ooh.
Oh yes. A new
Oh, right.
legend has joined
Right,
the
right.
fight.
Cheeky
Little
butt
one
shot.
and I share a common legacy. Pilot blood runs through her veins.
Nice.
This is Valkyrie.
Sending down hellfire.
Oh, it is a vertical
She
thing.
is as
That's
fearless
pretty cool.
As she is reckless.
Cool.
Your foe, make sure you
Team
look up as she takes the
reposition?
fight to the skies.
Your journey ends here, legends. The skies belong to me now.
So,
The arenas are the ultimate test of skill
wonder
and
which way
resolve.
around the tactical and
So
ultimate
I
are.
have a gift. The Bocek compound
Feels
bow.
very Ash, yeah?
This precision weapon requires patience and pinpoint consistency. It is made even deadlier with its 2 hop-up slots. Legends can combine shatter caps, splitting the arrow tip into a shotgun pattern,
Oh, that's awesome.
and Deadeye's tempo, allowing a faster draw when firing at the optimal pace.
Nice.
Master all of this, and you will become a true assassin.
Gotta
Wait,
take risks to be champ.
The
that-
need to prove superiority is instinctive. Hopefully,
change Hopper?
you can impress me. I'll see you in the arenas.
Olympus security perimeter alert. Multiple unknown ships entering secure space.
but they were.
All personnel, please secure docking stations and prepare for arrival. Security forces on full alert.
Strap in, mutie.
Where are they tied to?
Things are about to get mighty interesting.
Unless the ships were What? That gets huge. Yeah, so the ships were carrying the bioweapon? Because in the 2-minute intro, Olympus was trying to contact those ships as if it had sent them out and they needed to give a passcode to come back. So were they terraforming things sent off Olympus to terraform other worlds, and they failed the substance that I have totally forgotten the name of by now? Obviously over-corrupted and maybe made the ships malfunction? Or maybe it wasn't something they'd taken to use to terraform another place, and it's something they picked up from wherever they went, and it only, like, overgrew on the return trip? Ha! So yeah, that leaves us with, where exactly did the ships originally come from? What was their original purpose? What was the purpose of the Zobertanium, or whatever the hell the terraforming ecological growth liquid goop is. What was that being used for? How is it being produced? I really like that we've got two very specific in-world, I don't want to call them MacGuffins, but like elements with physical properties. Like Branthium manipulates gravity and energy, and Zobertanium manipulates ecological growth, but obviously to an extreme extent. Like, I'd wondered about this kind of thing coming in with the ecological disaster on King's Canyon last season. Who made the ships not be able to come back properly if they are from Olympus originally? Like, did the coding fail? Again, is this something that Ash has sent at us? She also mentions that other phase runner wasn't the first one, because Branthium was way less of a secret to the people at the top of the food chain compared to everybody else. So that would suggest this early prototype was set up by people at the top of the social hierarchy. Again, it's called a prototype. Maybe it's the prototype B3567 that was mentioned in the 2-minute preview for the launch trailer. Maybe that's where Ash has actually set herself up, which would then mean we know not only that she's on Talos, but I think that Valk's map from the first teaser shows us exactly where this arena would be compared to World's Edge, maybe just to give us a little bit of perspective. Like, it'd be really cool if we can find Ash's control panel as sort of a lore area on this map, say. So yeah, where were those ships sent? What was the Zobertanium for? What were they trying to terraform? And so therefore, why has it returned to Olympus? Have they returned to Olympus? Or are they from a complete third party? As I mentioned at the beginning, Ashley Reed, Ash, the doctor who became the Simulacrum Ash, back nearly 80-90 years ago, as we learn in Pathfinder's Quest, she was trying to steal the refined Branthium that Olympus had finally managed to make to try and solve the energy crisis. She was trying to send that Branthium through the Phase Runner to Gridiron. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, I think that is part of the reason why Bangalore and Wraith's story involving their arc jump from Gridiron, well, we only know that Bangalore arc jumped from Gridiron. My theory is that Wraith was also on that ship, or Voidwalker was on the same ship when they did that. You've also got someone like Valkyrie making it from the frontier to the Outlands in like 3 years, which the whole point of the arc jump in Bangalore's story is it took a 20-year trip from Gridiron, which is in the frontier, to the Outlands, which is the Outlands. That should take 20 years, but it took them 1. Valkyrie has made a similar trip in less than 3. Admittedly, Ash's ties to Gridiron from 80 to 90 years ago probably won't be the same now, because Gridiron fell like 19 years ago at the very end of the Frontier War, same year as Typhon exploded. So it's not entirely sure if there is like a remnant force of the IMC or Hammond, which is the more likely option in my eyes, back in the Frontier on Gridiron to connect to. But when you've got Bangalore's story progressing with that as the ultimate goal, when you've got someone like Ash with these old ties to Gridiron coming back into the story, you've got these ships out of nowhere carrying some crazy like ecological terraforming element goop, speaks to me that those could be connected. Again, the beginning seems to suggest that the ships came from Olympus at first and went somewhere else. And then in returning, it's been docked next to the Bonsai Plaza, and Olympus has shifted itself around a chunk to accommodate the new Icarus ship, admittedly seemingly at the cost of the docks area, which has then finally released the overgrowing ecological disaster, this crazy giant plant material that has now enveloped a chunk of Olympus, whether it originally came from Olympus itself or whether it was picked up from another planet where the Icarus was sent, potentially to gather ecological resources, which was evidently more than they were actually able to handle. But ultimately, it looks like Olympus is going to be changing up a lot through its own reconstruction, as we heard at the beginning. At least the bonsai segment has moved or been put somewhere else. The Mirage Voyage arena has, I think, confirmed for us that there is at least one other flying city. I think she called it a Coro. I think I was talking over it, so I didn't hear it properly. We could see some of the segments from Olympus that have moved turn up on that flying city. So yeah, there's a huge amount of restructuring going on, both on Olympus and in the terms of how we play the game. The more maps we have now, right? We've got that new chunk of World's Edge with an older phase runner on it that we definitely need to learn some more about. So we've been set up with a situation, but no real motive or antagonist exactly leading it. We've got these two sort of parallel conflicts, like Ash and the arenas, which is seemingly not that much of a conflict. It's something she's just doing. Whether she's got the sponsorship of Hammond to be able to do this, whether anyone is cool with her doing it or not, remains to be seen, right? She's evidently testing the phase runners for something. But then we've got this second storyline coming in with this crazy terraforming goop, right? Are the two linked is my ultimate question. And I don't think we have enough of a way to answer that yet. So ultimately, I really like the look of arenas. I love what they're doing from a lore perspective to change up the maps, like changing Olympus, not just by it restructuring itself, but by introducing this more natural growth on a city in the sky that's either the comeuppance of Olympus's overreaching history or signals the arrival of some future antagonists. But with that, I think that's all I can really glean out of this trailer thus far. If I come to any further realizations as we go, I will make a further video in the next day or so to expand on that. So, hope you enjoyed the trailer, hope you enjoyed my thoughts. Thank you for staying with me, friends. I've been Euclidean Vision, the emotional support. Take care of yourselves out there, teammates. And may the glorious letter Best Girl shine within you. Bye-bye.